Here's my insight for this week on Dale Biron on poetry. And that is that some problems, political, ecological, social, some problems can be so difficult that it's beyond the heroic. We need the courageous. So that's the distinction we're going to make this week. And also, if you'll stick around, I want to talk a little bit for those of us, and I know there are some that follow the podcast who are writers. I want to talk a little bit about writing as a method of gaining clarity, as a method of finding meaning and coherence. In some ways, that's a process that I engage in all the time. And I want to talk a little explicitly about that. But first, let's talk about the poem. Let's jump into the poem called The Trouble with Heroes, knowing my little wind up there about the heroic and the courageous. Okay. Heroes separate from, with fierceness, then tell us how it is. They tell us how it is. The courageous join with fierceness, listening to how it is. Heroes are all about fixing what is broken. The courageous help heal the context of what is broken. Heroes have a plan to make some part of life work better. The courageous meet with and sense into life's emerging. Heroes trust in the force of will to cause what's desired. The courageous trust relationships and their broader effects. Heroes impose ideas upon, wrestling life to the ground. The courageous dance with and join life's joyful frenzy. Heroes are all about straightening things out. The courageous love the curves as much as what's straight. Heroes pull drowning people out of the river. Heroes pull drowning people out of the river. The courageous go upstream to see who's throwing them in. Heroes pull drowning people out of the river. The courageous go upstream to see who's throwing them in. So, as you can tell, I believe from the poem, I hope what comes through is that heroes are not wrong or bad. That is a solid place in our heart that says a hero wants to be helpful. But here's the thing. Here's the distinction I'm working on making. And this poem helped me get clarity. I wrote this in the last few weeks, and I was thinking about how to get clear about what's needed. I've got friends. I've got so many people are saying, "What are you doing? How are you making yourself helpful? How are you helping in the world with the political turmoil, the ecological challenges that are coming at us like a freight train, and the social challenges that go along with the political?" And so this writing process is in some ways my way of trying to find coherence. I sometimes call it my way of trying to hear myself say things I did not know I knew. And it works every time. Really, every time. I'm that confident. So, but no, heroes aren't wrong. It's just that the hero, the heroic, has kind of bought into the idea of separation. The hero is separate from others, separate from the problem, separate from the world, and they're here to fix it, whatever it is. And again, comes from a good place in the heart. But I think that sense of separation is where the whole thing goes wrong. And what I mean by that is to be courageous. Talked about this on this podcast before. Core, the word courageous, core means heart, to know our heart and to follow our heart. And I take it one step further. I think it is courage means to bring the head, the best ideas, the best of our thinking, the best of our intellect with the best of our imagery, our intuition, our feelings, our heart. And when we bring those two things together, we've got the best chance possible to be wise, at least the best chance to be wise. And so I think that this idea, I mean, the moment we think about the hero, the person who's going to come in and fix what's wrong, I think that we have already gotten ourselves into trouble. And just like in the poem, I talk a little bit about fixing not the thing but the context, because if we can change and shift the context, then all the other stuff begins to work without us creating all these unintended consequences. Have you noticed how many fixes, particularly technical fixes, create another 7 unintended consequences? So we're constantly chasing, and we are too far into these difficult times for us to continue on that tail chasing path. So the trouble with heroes separate from with fierceness, then tell us how it is. The courageous join with fierceness, listening to how it is. Heroes are all about fixing what is broken. The courageous help heal the context of what is broken. Heroes have a plan to make some part of life work better. The courageous meet with and sense into life's emerging. Heroes trust in the force of will to cause what's desired. The courageous trust relationships and their broader effects. Heroes impose ideas upon, wrestling life to the ground. The courageous dance with and join life's joyful frenzy. Heroes are all about straightening things out. The courageous love the curves as much as what's straight. Heroes pull drowning people out of the river. The courageous go upstream to see who's throwing them in. Now, again, I would like to encourage any of us. We're all writers. The question is how we're going to use our writing. And I think one skillful way to use writing is to begin to use writing as a process, as a way to help us understand how we are feeling. What are the next steps we want to take, that we need to take? How are we feeling? And in particular, a writing process, if we can abandon all the judgment, if we can write with abandon, if we can just, lower our standards and keep on going, is the way William Stafford, the poet, used to talk about it when we get stuck. So the idea is if we can write with the notion that we're going to write into things that we did not know we knew, to get clear, to get coherence, to make new meaning. And for me, this poem was no different. There are a number of things which came, or the way they came through, it might not have been a totally new idea, but it came through in a new, more concise way. And so I want to encourage everybody to try that, because we need as much coherence as we can get, as much clarity as we can get these days. Okay. Thanks so much for your listening ear. Refer the podcast if you like this. Refer it to others. That's always a great thing for more people to hear this, hear the podcast. So until next time and next poems, please take good care of yourself. And if you can, take good care of someone else.